right, athletes, I got more tips coming your way. I was just talking to some athletes today, and like I said, I'm trying to make a commitment to pass on the tips that I give my athletes, but these are also the kinds of tips that we'll be doing on our calls within our Superfly community, which is only 25 bucks a month. You get access to all of our training plans, you get access to coaches, you get access to office hours and all kinds of really cool stuff. But a lot of people want to run faster, and they want to run faster now. And it's really easy to try to dream up really complicated workouts that are track-based or tempo-based and everything to talk about raising your effort. What I know from doing a lot of research, as well as owning a metabolic cart before, everything that we can measure about elite runners relative to other elite runners is pretty close. So muscle elasticity, muscle strength, VO2 max, those types of things, they're all pretty close. But the best runners in the world, they really kick ass with economy. So how can we improve in our economy the quickest? All right, there's only two things that you can do to run faster. You can take bigger steps, or you can take more of them. It'd be really a fool's errand to tell athletes to go out and try to take bigger steps. And if you think about it, I'll come back to that. So one of the things that I'll tell athletes to do to get them to run better very quick is start to monitor your cadence. Remember, running speed is a function of how many steps you're taking and how big each step is. So I used to tell myself when I was trying to improve my run that if my job was to only take more steps, even if I got tired, I would tell myself each step I wouldn't have to push off so hard. I would try to monitor how many steps that I was taking. The other thing that's cool about that was you're not necessarily emotionally attached to your cadence. So that's really important too. When I used to test this, and I'll just use my numbers for example, and I don't mean to offend anybody or intimidate, but I went out and I did a 10-mile test, and I ran just normal without thinking about anything, and at about 75-80% effort, because I wanted to replicate the test given the same fitness shortly thereafter. My average was 7-minute miles, and my average cadence was 86. This was back when I used a foot pod and it was only measuring 1 foot, so keep that in mind. When I went out a few days later, the same course, same temperature, all that, blah, 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 and I told myself my only goal was to keep my cadence over 90. That's all I wanted to do. And if you think about it, you can run with 90 steps per minute in place. So I wasn't so much concerned about velocity. I was more concerned about just keeping my economy high and the steps per minute high. So I went out, I ran, I was doing a good job doing that. And then at about 8 miles in, I couldn't help it anymore. I had to check what was my cadence, or what was my pace. So at 8 miles in, I noticed that I had been averaging about 6:12 pace. The other thing was, not only was I blown away by that, but I noticed then I became immediately tired because I have a mental pre-association with how hard 6:12 pace should feel. So that was the other thing that kind of stuck out to me. So I challenged myself at some of my next races to trust that if I did not look at my pace, but if I just tried to monitor my cadence, because remember, speed is a function of cadence times how long your strides are, but if I just monitored my cadence, then I wouldn't have to worry about anything else. And my run splits went from hovering around 130s off the bike for a 70.3 down to close to 122, 125 almost instantaneously. And so it's a pretty acute thing. Now you have to train neuromuscular stuff, and there's some proper ways to raise cadence, and there's definitely some improper ways to raise cadence, and we can get more into that in our community discussion. But I wanted to throw that out as a challenge. I challenge you guys and gals to go out, test yourself without trying to affect cadence, and then just take another sample with cadence increased by 2 if you're monitoring by 1 foot, or 4 if you're monitoring by 5, or by both feet, and just see how it goes. See how your cadence is affected. And that's my challenge to you. If you're interested in more tips, again, you can join our community. We'd love to have you. It's on the Superfly coaching, or superfly.com coaching, or superflycoaching.com page, or trainingbiblecoaching.com. You can come on in, and then we're also live in there once a month at least to go back and forth with questions and stuff. But give it a try. I guarantee that you'll run faster. It's a very quick fix, and on average I'd say my athletes save about 10 to 15 seconds per mile really quick. So enjoy. I'm curious as to how it goes, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.